Stop.
Dear friends, masters and co-creators, this is Dr. Kavitha Kukunoor, President and CEO of KHA. Before we start, we always thank Universe for giving us this great opportunity by meditating on the most supreme Lord, the Creator, with Gayatri Mantra. Om Purvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yono Prachodayat. Om Sri Matre Namaha. Today, April 15, 2026, as a part of Swadhyaya, I feel truly blessed to narrate a topic from Dena Merriam's new book, Sita's Yoga, on topic the yoga of merging with the unified field. Along with me, Swayam Siripuram will also be part of this book reading. And you wanted to say any few words before we start, Swayam? It's a spontaneous one.
Thank you, Kavitha Garu, for inviting me to this book club, and it is such a blessing from Sita Ma, and I'm looking forward to the session. And we didn't plan anything; it is spontaneous. So let's Sita Ma guide us.
That is so true. With deep gratitude and heartfelt thanks to Brahmashi Pitamaha Patriji, Swarnamala Amma, and taking blessings and thanking our family, parents, extended family, all divine masters, gurus, KHA Miraculous Minds meditation group, Joy team, and all the teams, PSSM, PMC channels, and our KHA study group doctors. And I offer my sincere gratitude and heartfelt thanks to Dena Merriam for blessing me with opportunity to speak on her new book, taking Lord Hanuma blessings and his divine light to give us strength. Whatever we speak today flows from Sitama through Dena ji and to me and among all the participants. And I'm merely their humble servant. Since we started this book series on March 8, 2026, let me take the opportunity to tell a little bit about the author and the topics we have covered so far. Dena Merriam, who was born and brought up in the USA, through her spiritual depth and innate abilities, shares profound experiences connected to Treta Yuga, Sri Ram Sitama. And her earlier work, Untold Story of Sita, also known as Sita in Telugu, has brought deep transformation in many lives, inspiring greater love and reverence to Sri Ram and Sita Ma. Dena Merriam began her work in the interfaith movement in 1990s as vice chairman of Millennium World Peace Summit of religious leaders held at the UN in 2000. And she has been a student of Paramahamsa Yogananda and a meditation practitioner. She received the Nirvana Peace Prize for her interfaith peace efforts. She has authored several books. And I truly feel blessed that this book is not an ordinary book. Perhaps only when we are blessed with Sitama, Sri Ram, or Hanuma, we receive such a book, I feel. And as I said, this book was not my original selection. When I had conversation with Dena Merriam recently in February 2026, she told about this new book and suggested me to read it. And since then started this book series from March 8th on International Women's Day with the topic The Yoga of Selfless Action, The Yoga of Awakening, which was also on the day Dena Merriam's birthday. And recently, we are so blessed to have a session with Dr. Saroja Gullapalli Amma from Australia on humanity and spirituality. And for all the participants who are watching for the first time, just wanted to tell, like, we have covered 11 to 12 topics. And if they wanted to listen the recordings, they are available on the YouTube channel, Kavitha Kukunoor. The topics we have picked were all unique and on auspicious days. So the yoga of transcendence of name and form with Priyanka Devaraju and Krishna Miriala, the yoga of inner attunement with Bhargavi Pingali from KHA Miraculous Minds, the yoga of selfless reflection and non-reaction with Light and Soul Meditation Group, the Yoga of Mind over Matter Joy Team with Swayam, the Yoga of Awakening Heart with Sunita Shivakumar from KHA Miraculous Minds, the Yoga of Love with again Joy Team, the Yoga of Non-Interference with Joy Team, the Yoga of Selfless Action with PMC USA, the Yoga of Non-Possessiveness with the Lightworkers TV, the Yoga of Forgiveness with the Bhiksha Master, and the Yoga of Gratitude from Dena Merriam at KHA Miraculous Minds. So, and again, it's a great joy that we are going to have Dena Merriam on Mother's Day, May 10th. So please do join and share your experiences. Dena ji says, for the first time, I'm writing a story that is not my own. It is a story that has been told to me, means to her, that the narrator of the story is a great soul who abide at a high realm filled with the consciousness of Sita Ma, which is also known as called as Mata, and who gained the moksha liberation. So it is a story of woman named Devani showing glimpses of life towards the end of Treta Yuga, and we get connected to our daily life, all the incidents that are happening. The yoga of merging with the unified field. The suspension of time and space propelled me into a completely different reality. And in this reality, I knew all beings to be part of a unified field of consciousness. So here Devan is telling about how she got into that unified field. There was a couple in the village named Kian and Uma, whom I greatly admired, but from a distance, because over the years I had few personal interactions with them. They were several years older than I and had no children. Our families were not close, so I never found a reason to reach out. And frankly, I was a bit intimidated by them as they seemed a bit remote, hardly interacting with any of my acquaintances. See, each chapter, whichever we have covered, though we see several names, there is an essence, there is a story that is getting connected, and the message we are going to get. So these two couple named Uma and Kian, how she's telling how her Devani's interaction with them. Both they were both quite attractive with an elegant and even dignified appearance. One might have thought Kian to be a government official by the way he carried himself, by his extensive knowledge and by the conviction with which he spoke. So both are very attractive, elegant, and looks professional. He was often called upon to speak at village festivals, and I was impressed by his manner and thoughtfulness. Kian was of average height with nicely formed features and hair tied in a neat knot on top of his head. Uma was about my size, slender with clear skin, a shade darker than mine, and large wide eyes. Her hair fell to her waist, but most often she also wore half of it tied in a top knot. So, beautifully describing those couples. While I wore mine in a long braid, the attire of both was simple but festive, displaying an unusual array of fabric dyes. I thought of them as an ideal couple because they seemed to be almost a single unit, always seen together by the way they looked at one another and spoke. They appeared to be rare harmony between them. Both were artisans and they worked together to make beautiful objects that decorated homes of professional officials in even far away towns. So I heard. In many ways, they were the pride of the village. highly respected for the beauty of the objects they created, and this made me shy whenever I met them, as I had no craft or talent to speak of. So Devani, when she saw those two of them, she felt like they're made for each other. They're beautiful couple. But if you have checked the topics which we have covered, these two right now they're in harmonious. The best example for the couple relationship. In the past, they underwent lot of things, and then once they got that maturity, that spiritual stage, now that is what she's seeing. So that is what all covered in the previous topics. Now she's seeing them so nice, and both are artisans and the creative. So she was little bit hesitated to meet them because she do not know. For this reason, I never thought to seek their friendship, assuming that we had little in common. They were people to greet in the street and exchange a few words without having any further conversation. See, same thing, right? With the spiritual souls, like as we got connected, we easily understand. So that just we say that, okay, is there any common thing between us to get connected? Around the time when I came to this new understanding about the inner work, I saw them in the market quite by chance, and I noticed Kian staring at me with a slight smile on his face. Without a moment's thought, without knowing why, I suddenly was drawn to approach and address them. Kian watched as I walked up to them and greeted both with pranam and warm smile. This couple was also known for their neutrality, for not voicing an opinion about the land issue or the polarization in the village. And I wondered why they, like me, embraced this rare position which so few in the village had taken. So in the village there was a conflict and polarization. See, some people are towards one side, the other people, so there was no harmony and there was lot of conflict and injustice. So, and they were also neutral with that whatever is happening in the village. After a few minutes of little conversation, Uma invited me to come back with them to their cottage for a cooling drink. It was the hot season and the day was very humid, so I welcomed this invitation. But more than that, I was glad for the opportunity to get to know them better. And I immediately accepted her offer. See, when someone invites for the first time, we just take it to get acquainted, friendship. Despite my busy household and my outreach to other villages, after Sachi's passing, I had grown lonely, as I had no one with whom I could share my spiritual life. Rarely did I meet Martha or Soma. I never spoke to anybody about their existence, even though they were so central to my life. So Devani's daughter is Sachi, and she passed away. So she was still, that grief was there in her. And Devani, she gets her intuition from Mata. She is connected to Mata. So that also she won't tell to anyone about her association with Mata. I could not share my experiences with anyone. Anu was the only one who knew anything about my hidden life, and she knew so little. I did not expect that I would be able to speak freely with Kian and Uma, but for some unknown reason felt incredibly drawn to them. So she was feeling that she's getting drawn to them, means getting connected to them for a reason. Although they took no part in the conflict roiling the village, I intended to probe into their true feelings. But as I sat with them, I thought it better not to begin a friendship, which I hope to do, by bringing up such an explosive subject. So I turned the conversation to a more uplifting topic, their artistic creations, commenting on the many beautiful objects that lined their cottage. I told them how much I admired their work as I took note of the assortment of wall hangings, decorative poetry, cushions, floor coverings, and other items such as I had never seen before. See, she has two options and she is meeting for the first time. She can get into the conversation with the village topic, that is one option. But if she goes into that one, that positivity will be gone because the conflict, right? So the other one is she felt like that is not the right way to start have the friendship or conversation. The other way is to enjoy the beauty they have made, that creativity, looking at all the wall hangings they made together. So that beautiful thing she is trying to describe and appreciate. Uma served a cool drink, which was soothing and sweet, and I asked about the herbs she had used, some of which I recognized. I told them about my family, Mandar, Anu, and the children. So Devan is husband Mandar, and Anu is the second wife to Mandar. So it is co-wife and their children. I even mentioned Sachi, the child I had lost. Uma nodded sympathetically. I found that I was doing most of the talking, and I realized that for so long, when I met with people in the village, I was always the listener. So when she met with them, she is only talking, but usually she is silent, and she listens more. This is what Soma had counseled me to do, to walk the streets, meet with people, and listen to their stories. So Soma is another great devata associated with Sita and who takes care of the children. And she gets all the channeling through Soma. Devani gets it. And Soma counseled Devani saying that talk to the people in the village, understand their problems, listen to their stories. But for the first time, now I was the one doing all the speaking, and Kian and Uma were listening without disclosing anything about themselves or their views. After a while, I became self conscious, feeling I had been talking too much. So I made a motion to leave. They insisted on walking me part way to where the road divided, one path leading to the forest and the other to my cottage. As we approached the spot, we halted and stood there for several moments, somewhat reluctant to part with one another. After an awkward moment, Uma offered pranam and said, I must come visit them again very soon. She began to walk back to the cottage, but Kian stayed 1 minute. With a slight smile, he whispered, so you're the one who started the fight that day. I thought it was you. So Kian, he was able to recollect the things, what has happened in the past. So Devani, with her thoughts, she made some sacred words and made the fire to the cottage of the Manish, who is the evil, who is the person who is causing all this conflict. And so, with the anger, with her thoughts, she made that fire. So Kian was saying, "Okay, so you are the one." She was surprised. Startled, I stared at him, wondering how he knew. And then it dawned on me, and I replied, and you were the one who put it out. I am grateful for that. It was a grave error. I allowed anger to overtake me. Then she realized that, oh, someone has put it down, that fire. So I think it was you. And thank you. But you overcame it because all that happened because of the anger over the injustice. That is important part. And now you have befriended Puri, healing a wound from the past. That is what Martha wanted. So Puri is the Manish wife. So these are the two people who are causing all they're abusive, they're causing all the conflict in the village, injustice, everything. So what Devani, she was befriended with Puri because she has seen the past and the future with her. So what that karma, whatever is happening, it will come back again in the future. Those words shocked me even more. But before I could ask anything, he nodded slightly. And as he felt, as he left, I heard him say, "You must come again very soon." After that brief visit, I could not get the couple out of my mind. Kian's words cycled again and again through my thoughts. So they also know Mata. Nothing could have pleased me more, and I was eager to hear their stories of Mata and to share mine. So she sensed that they also know about Mata. I recall that when I heard about the fire in Puri's cottage. In my mind's eye, I saw the flames bursting out, but then I perceived that the fire was put out immediately. I wondered how the villagers came to know right away, and I could not help but surmise that another force was at play. So in the universe, action and reaction will be there, right? Whatever that was. Her thoughts, there is another force, that is Kian. He's calming down that negative force. At the same time, when I reflected on the fire, I sensed a presence, a male presence. So I knew it was not Soma or Mata. When Kian stood before me on the road as we were parting, I recognized him as the presence. So Devani, with her intuitive, her spiritual powers, when she was setting that fire through her thoughts, through her words, she could sense there was something, a male presence, and that is Kian. Now she realized who has put down that fire. Even before I got to know them, I intuited that there was something very special about those two, but I could not identify what it was. Now I knew. I was very eager to visit them again, but household duties prevented me until several weeks later, when after the evening meal was served and cleared, I felt an irrepressible urge to go to their cottage despite the late hour. For hours, Mandar and Anu had been bitterly conversing about something that Manish did in the village that day. An unpleasant event to be sure, but no reason to resort to such hostility. I had to get away from the anger, even for a short while. But I knew it was more than their emotions that pulled me toward my new friends. So what happened now? She wanted to go to Uma and Kian's cottage to spend time with them. But see, at home, Mandar and Anu both were talking about the village conflict, that anger, everything, and she's not somehow do not want to get into it. So she wanted to get away from that for a moment. So and she's trying to find a way that she can go to the Kian's place. Slipping away, I walked to their cottage, wondering what I would say. It was already late, quite late, and how would I explain the strong urge I felt to visit them that evening? one that would not allow me to wait until morning. When I arrived, I found them expecting me. Five other people were present, men and women from the village, none of whom I really knew, but whom I recognized, and they were all already deep in meditation. Without taking much note of the others, I immediately sat down and soon entered the breathless state. And as the breath departed, so did my linkage to the outer world. So finally, she went to the place Uma and Kia. And when she went, because her instinct to go, urge to go there to their cottage to spend time with them, and she found people were already there, few people. So and they were all in meditation. So she started to do meditation. So did my linkage to the outer world. And as the breath departed, so did my linkage to the outer world. It was then that the inner world opened, revealing a landscape beyond the loftiest imaginings of the mind. I found myself in a field. I think Swayam is that I am. Shall I continue until this page? Right?
Yeah. Yes, Kavita garu.
I found myself in a field, a most beautiful field, along with Kian, Uma, and others who were meditating in the cottage, all present in our light bodies. Wild flowers of iridescent colors gently waved back and forth, rocked by the hum of a breeze and illuminated by the radiant inner sun. It was a place I have never been before, at least not in my current human form, for it was not a place of earth. So the moment she went, she was in that blissful state, higher realm, with all the beautiful colors, light bodies, and breeze. So it's illuminated by radiant inner sun. It was not with my outer eyes that I gazed at the scene before me, but with another faculty, and I could see far and wide, above and beyond, into a far distance where many beings of light roam. My sight swept over mountains, rivers, and valleys, mossy ground coverings, interspersed with pearl-like flowers peering through. The world around me was soft and gentle, lit by an inner glow. A scenic flow of light pulsated everywhere and in everything, creating vivid impressions of vibrant life. There was no limit to my sight, and I could see beyond any horizon without turning or moving. I could see behind, below, and above, past the star beams that lit this inner world. All was within my sight, and I could hear the elevated thoughts of those around me, and it seemed that their thoughts were my own, for we were merged into one unified field. We had entered a unitive state, and the freedom that it brought was joyous beyond expression, as if I was suddenly unbounded. So in that meditation, she felt so immense joy, that light and everything, mountains. It is she beyond, and she went below, behind, above. So all the things past the star beings that lit this inner world, and also she was able to get connected to the people around them and into a one unified field. To be free of the very idea of separateness, to not know apartness, isn't this our long hidden desire? I now knew myself to be an intrinsic part of the whole, the ground, the sky, the distant mountains, all existing in the core of my being. So she felt that being intrinsic of everything, ground, sky, distant mountains, all existing in the core of my being. I was in every part, or every part was in me. Every sensation, like Vishwarupam, like we see, like everywhere, we feel that she was able to see. Every sensation that rustled the landscape, I felt within my heart. And I knew that those around me were experiencing the same. For what I felt, they felt, and what they felt, I also experienced. I became aware of Martha's presence, although I could not pursue her form, and I caught thoughts circulating in the ethers, coursing through my awareness in waves of insight. And I would like Swayam, please continue.
Yeah, thank you, Kavita Garu. So, Devani, when she went into that meditative state with everyone else, she is experiencing that oneness with the universe, with the whole existence. How beautiful it is. This is what we all want. This is what we are waiting for, to get that oneness feeling, right? That is why we are doing all this sadhana, dhyana, swadhyaya, sajna, sangatya. Just by reading it, I'm feeling so much joy inside. And once we really experience it, how we are going to be, we can imagine, right? So let's continue the story. It is not through speech that you shape and move events in the outer world. Although words are useful, silence is the most powerful language, the language of the soul. In silence, you tap the deeper reality where the mind can create, guide, and transform outer conditions. There is no limit to what the mind can do when free of the confining, in authentic self, the one who masks the true self. So they are saying us here is the how she is able to experience that oneness with the whole universe, with everyone, and everybody else who's meditating also experience the same feeling what she is experiencing, the oneness with the universe, and how we have to reach that state is by silencing the mind. That is what they have given here. By silencing the mind is powerful. We are able to see outer world. We are able to talk. We are able to do our stuff with the mind. But when we silence our mind, it is even more powerful. That we can see what we cannot see with our physical eyes. With our physical eyes, I'm only able to see the screen in front of me. Kavita Garu is there. You all are present. I'm only seeing this, but I don't know what happens behind me. But when we go to that state of oneness, as Devani is experiencing, we can also experience everything. She's able to experience everything. Behind also what's going on, we can see up, down, far, everywhere we can see. Like imagine we stay here, like as though you have some bioscope in your eyes and you can see the far distance, right? And the same way with our mind's eye, we can see it is that powerful. And that we get when we silence our mind. So there's, even though language is powerful, silencing the mind is a way to reach the soul and experiencing that. So when we silence our mind, what happens? The inauthentic self, um, we come out of our inauthentic self and we go to our true self. Our true self, our soul has all these experiences. It can see everything. So the key is to silence the mind. That is why we are meditating, my dear friends. That is the way to feel the connection with everyone, with one and each, with each of us, and to the whole entire universe. The battle with Ravana was foremost a battle of minds. That was and is and will always be the unseen work, which no one person can claim because it is a collective effort and takes place on a non material, non verbal plane. Through deep concentration, a powerful will, self knowledge, and a wholehearted concern for the collective good, you can help guide and shape conditions in the other world. Ravana had all these qualities except the last, and this led to his downfall. So, when we go to the deep state, with the powerful will, with the deep concentration, with wholeheartedness, um, we can guide and shape the conditions in the other worlds, it seems. But once you know all these powers, why we have to use this? Once you get all these siddhis, we have to use it for the betterment of the world. Ravana got so many siddhis, He's a great meditator. We are thinking that through meditation we find our true self. We can see all these things, but he got all the siddhis. But what he is missing is the concern for the collective good. He did not think about the collective good. He was thinking only about himself, to satisfy himself. So he misused all the powers. So that will be that is his downfall. The
Yeah.
thought,
The love, sorry, Sven,
yeah,
one word, that kind-heartedness, love, right?
kind-hearted.
Was the main, everything has, but he was able to influence collectively. But just that main important ingredient is missing.
Is missing. Yes, kindness and love. The thought forms initiated by Ravana have seeped into the collective, and to lessen degrees the battle against those thought forms will play out in villages and towns throughout the earth. But there are those who will counter this contagion, and you have taken birth for this purpose. The battle in Lanka was not the end of our work, rather, it was the beginning. For Earth is entering an era of growing materialism and gradual spiritual decline, a weakening of the ability to grasp the subtle principles that create and sustain the manifest worlds. To delay and moderate this loss is the work of many. There will always be those who contain and preserve this wisdom until spiritual perceptions return. A time which will come soon enough, if measured not in earth years but divine time. So what they are saying is, even though the time is changing, so everybody is moving towards materialism. They are coming out of, they're declining from spiritual awareness. So, all these people, they have to preserve the spiritual thing, so that they can um, help everyone, or what is it, Kavita?
Yes. So currently, since this Ravana, the battle, whatever is happening, that is not end, because same thing is coming up in the current situations in a minor way, and that is just like in the village, whatever is happening, it is like mini Ravana situations, and we can affect the collective way with our thoughts, but and the more are connected to the materialism, and it will take some time because spiritual is come right, Swam, you said the same thing, is declining, but it, to make those changes in the collective field, it might take some time.
Might take some time. The transmission by thought ceased, and I sank into deep silence, where past, present, and future merged into one. Then they separated, and I was both in and out of time. So she is deepening her practice, and then she experienced in the deep silence where past, present, and future merged into one. There is nothing. We are experiencing past, we have future, we have present, because we are separated from that oneness. But since she went into that oneness, she is experiencing all the three things at one: past, present, future, everything merged, and she also experienced herself in it. In the domain of time, I saw an endless past and an endless future. I became aware of demarcations. Cycles repeated themselves across so many millennia. The gain and loss of spiritual knowledge, the growth and decline of material life, endless cycles of return. Yet each segment of cycle differing from its previous expression. Tendencies and currents repeat, but in a new ways, as all of creation is a process of rebirth. So she saw herself, and she saw past, present, future, everything at once. And then she also seen vast past and then vast future, endless past and endless future. Everything is endless, right, friends? The millennia are coming, the eras are coming, and again, these cycles are coming and going, coming Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. All these yugas are coming, and again, they're making the cycles, they're going. So when in Satya Yuga, people will be more spiritual. And then in Kali Yuga, that spiritual knowledge is people are going away from the spiritual knowledge. So everything is a cycle. She is able to see all that reality in that space, in the deep state. Spiraling cycles create a future where increasingly complex expressions of life come into being, different ways to express this loss and gain, with ever newness, repetitions and newness coexisting, enabling patterns to evolve. I saw that we were coming to the end of an era of great spiritual awareness, heightened attunement with the divine source, but entering a time of material advancement with a renewed focus on the outer world. Ravana had a part to play in generating the lust for material pleasure, in innovating new ways to dominate the external world, a domination that the ancients cared nothing about, consumed as they were by knowledge of a great cosmic reality. So this is his Ravana's part, because the time is changing. People are becoming more materialistic in the era. So he did his part by implanting the materialistic pleasures everywhere. Never before had I imagined the grandeur of this great sweep of time, which guides the outer world, but to which the inner world is immune. I could see, perceive, and feel time, but also knew myself to exist beyond its reach and understood it to be a concept, a mere idea in the cosmic mind. Now she has seen the whole picture. Before, when she was only with herself, she was not able to see this whole entire idea of the universe. Now she's connected to that oneness. She is able to see how the time changes and how everything is coming and going. Spiritual awareness is coming in some era, spiritual awareness is going in some other space. So she is able to e- experience everything in that space. I could soon see, perceive, and feel time, but also knew myself to exist beyond its reach and understood it to be a concept, a mere idea in the cosmic mind. So she also understood she is part of it. I was conscious of existing in a spaceless realm. So why she is able to see everything, that spaceless realm is there. She is accessing that. That's why she's able to see everything. Where division does not exist. That is the space where division does not exist. Space is a thing from where the light and this creation, everything has formed. Before, if you go back from the creation, then you will see the light. And before the light, the space realm exists. That space holds everything. The whole creation it holds. So she is able to access that space. From there, she is able to understand the whole creation and everything. Where that space does not have any division. Here we have division. That's why we are thinking we are separate. But there everything is same, it seems. I was aware that I also inhabited a physical body stationed within the confines of space. We all have come from that space. But the thing is, now we feel the separation. Once you go to the space, it's everything is one. The suspension of time and space propelled me into a completely different reality. She is experiencing completely different reality now in that space. And in this reality, I knew all beings to be part of a unified field of consciousness. So everybody is unified there. And Manish Puri and their allies, Ravana and his demonic warriors, were as much a part of me as were everything else. There was no distinction, no separation. They were in me and I was in them, just as I abided in the reality of Sita and Ram. So even the when she was in another reality, the separation, when she's thinking she is only Devani, so she was angry about Manish and Puri, all that anger, everything she was holding, but she is experiencing the space, the ultimate reality she connected to, the unified consciousness. Now there is no separation. So she's feeling Manish, Puri, the Ravana, and the demonic warriors, everybody is part of oneness. That is what she is experiencing. There is no separation. They are all one. As in Bhagavad Gita, the Sri Krishna shows the Vishwarupa to Arjuna, right? That he is everything, everything is inside him. The person who is killing, the person who is doing the war, the Karna, Arjuna, everybody is inside him. That is the space. That is the space she connected, and she's experiencing that oneness. Hours later, when I returned to the physical world and was again fully ensconced ensconced in my body, I opened my eyes to find only Uma and Kian present with me, also just returning to physical reality. So after this experience, she slowly came back to this physical world. All this experience she had in the deeper meditation, that space where everything is unified. Now she opened her eyes and she saw Uma and Kian next to her. I didn't know whether the others had been physically present or not, whether I had imagined that they were there, but I did know we had all been together in another realm, one vastly different from what we knew on earth. I sat quietly for some time before making a move to get up. So she saw everything there, and now she's making a move to get up. My new found friends also seemed reluctant to move. When I did rise, I offered pranams and a slight smile and then quietly departed without a word. So she just got up and then she did pranams to them and then she left the place. As I walked home, I knew we had been in the presence of Mata. As is so often the case, I didn't see her form, but knew she was the one who transmitted the experience. So, who gave the experience? Who is giving this experience to us? Right? When we are in the meditation, we are seeing gurus, we are getting the bliss, we are feeling the bliss. And I really had this experience. So, I know what they are talking about. I also experienced the um, formless form of the Divine Mother. One time I went into deep state and then I was seeing the white light everywhere. And usually the form of the mother, we pray deities in the temple. That is how we know. But when I saw that white, beautiful light, I experienced that the formless form and that unconditional love. That is what she is experiencing. Now she's saying that she got all this experience and we get all these experiences because of the gurus, because of the masters, because of the goddess.
That is an enlightenment state you got it, Swayam. That is so nice. That is wonderful. That's amazing where you got and what she was experiencing.
This
That
is
time it is such a higher consciousness and all
higher
has been
consciousness. It
done
was
by Mata.
it was beyond this physical realm, Kavita Garu. Beyond that, like we experience happiness when we eat something, when we listen something, when we buy something. It is not that. It is not which I experienced with my five senses or with this physical body. It is beyond that. No mind, no body. That pure love, eternal love, the mother
And
love.
that cannot be put it in words also. It
Cannot
is
put it
an
in words now.
experience. It cannot be put it in words.
Yes, now I understand why am I here. Now I understand why I
That
am
is why
reading this.
that is why Sita Ma made me to speak all of a sudden on this special time to because you already have experience to this topic and this time this to you. It's in spite of your busy schedule, you have taken some time
Yeah.
to speak. That is really great. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita garu. Thank you for this opportunity. And this is my first session in English. Usually, I do it only in
Oh,
Telugu. And
that's
this is my
so great. Really great.
first one. She broke my, limitation. Like, you can do sessions in English too. Like, Sita
So
wants me to experience
Sitama
that.
is giving you another for your evolution or
Yeah.
higher attunement.
Yeah. When you said Sita, that is when I was like, I don't want to think anything. I just surrender myself and let me do this. So she's
Wonderful.
guiding us. Wow. Really, this is beautiful. I really want everybody to experience that formless form of the divine. That means I went into that state, the space where, yeah, here also Sitama only gave her that experience. She's believing in that mother, because the mother of mother's presence, I got this experience. It was an hour or so before dawn, and there was not a person on the road. I was glad for this time alone and meandered at a very slow pace, seeking to linger a bit longer in the afterglow of what I experienced, wanting to keep Mata's presence with me. She's going very slow, and then she wants to keep that divine experience, what she has experienced, what Mother has given her. That is nothing but Mother. What the light is nothing but Mother. That experience is given by Mother, and the light itself is Mother, and she wants to be in that Mother's presence. She knew us before we were born. She called us into the physical realm. And now she had brought together this small group of beings who gravitated to her. There was a purpose to it all, and I would have to discover that purpose. Wow. We can connect with. this story with us, how we got connected, how we are doing these sessions together as a group. This is all Sitama's plan. This, what she's experiencing is she knows that the Divine Mother Sitama knows before we were born. That means in the other world she knows, Sitama knows her, and in this physical world when they are taking the birth, then also mother knows them, and the mother only brought a small group of beings together. It seems why they all brought together means there is some purpose. That is why mother brought them together. There is purpose for us too. That is why mother brought us together. In the such a short period of time, we are together doing. This is our fourth session. Definitely, mother has a plan, has a purpose, so she brought us together. When I arrived home, the household was still asleep. I was fully awake, but decided to lie down. As I lay on the sleeping mat, my mind returned to the experience I had, and although I couldn't recreate it, yes, the memory of the connectedness I had experienced with the others was vivid. Now she's coming back to her body senses. Now she has experienced in the deep meditation that everybody is one. Now she's back to her physical body. So that experience became vivid. And I also used to think, when am I going to see that white light again? Tried many times, but I couldn't see it again. That was one and only experience. I also wanted to go and experience that again. She is also coming out of that because she is in her physical body now. It's everything is becoming vivid now. The sense of unity had not left me. I rested in that awareness until I heard the first stirring of the household, and then I got up and began preparing the morning meal. So she started her back work, but the sense of unity had not left me. But she's still feeling the unity. That whatever she experienced, she's still feeling the unity. When Mandar and Arun came to greet me, I felt keenly. When Mandar and Arun, okay. Mandar and Anu came to greet me, I felt keenly the residues of their anger from the night before, feelings of victimhood which had not yet subsided. Their emotions caused a perceptible pain in my heart. She is able to feel their emotions too. As I still was in that unity consciousness and felt their anger as my own. Now she has felt that unity, and then whatever those people are feeling, Mandar and Anu, because she is experiencing that unity, right? Now everybody is one, there is no separation. So whatever they are feeling, she is feeling their feelings in her heart. I had to separate myself mentally and speak to them from a place of removal. If you think yourself a victim, you will be a victim. But if you reject that notion, you will be free of it. I said quietly to Anu when I had a moment alone with her. Whatever happened, let go of it. I knew my words would make an impression as Anu took my guidance. Okay, whatever happened, let go of it. So she is feeling whatever they are feeling in their heart, she is feeling. So she's suggesting them to let go of those feelings. I knew my words would make an impression as Anu took my guidance seriously. Okay. I wish I could, she signed. So she also wants, nobody wants those feelings, right? The feelings of sadness or anger or low feelings. We always say, even when you're feeling that, you want to come out of it, but we don't know how to come out of it. So here she's also suggesting, Devani is suggesting her to come out of that. She is saying, I wish I could, she sighed. But it is not right. You know what that evil Manish did? So she is into that mind mode. What that Manish did, she's thinking about that. That's what we think, right? When we are separated beings, we think, oh, how they can do this, how they can talk like that, how can they can behave like this. This is all mind thing. Mind is separating us, so we are judging. Interrupted her. Will your anger change him? Will your anger change anything? She shook her head. So now she's asking, since she experienced that oneness, she's asking, will your anger change anything? If you're angry that somebody is doing a mistake, that is not going to change anything. Only we are going to lose our energy. That's all. We are nothing will change if we are angry at that person who is making mistakes. And who is it hurting? It is hurting you. Yeah, exactly. If you are angry about something, some situation, some people's behavior, it is going to only hurt us, because they say anger is like a fire. If you're holding on to the anger, that means we are holding on to the fire, my dear friends. Like fire only can burn us. Or if we are angry at someone, we go into the lower emotions, and sometimes we show that anger on others. If we hold the anger within us, it is burning our own self. If we are throwing that anger on others, we are burning someone else. So we have to be very careful. And the whole household. Yeah, it is not just her. See, it is hurting you and the whole household. So it affects everybody. Anger affects us and the people around us. You see how it is affecting the children. This is what he wants. He is a disruptor. Why let him get this way and disrupt the whole village? What should I do? She asked meekly. So now she is asking, like, okay, what should I do? I was about to advise her to walk in the forest, so observe the healing energies of nature. But Anu had a fear of the forest that she could not overcome despite my best effort. So I simply said, go sit under the old tree by the well. Watch the birds, listen to the sounds, feel the breeze in the morning air, forget everything else, and allow your head and heart to clear. So, here, how to come out of that anger, she asked. And then Devani is giving her a beautiful suggestion. This works for all of us. This is a tip for all of us. Even we go through these emotions in our daily life with the situations, what we are facing, right? In your office or in your relationships. We all go through these emotions, anger, sadness, or anything. So, what is the tip? Here, a great tip is given by Devani to all of us. Walk into the forest, observe the healing energies. See, nature is a great healer, my dear friends. Sita Ma is in the nature. If you read the untold story of Sita, when she leaves the world, they say that all her energies are in the Mother Earth, in every leaf, every flower, every bird, every tree, oceans, everywhere you can see Mother's presence. So Mother is present in the nature. Sitama. If you want to connect to Sitama, you have to connect to the nature. So that is why
When
she
you
said,
hug a tree, is fine. Like when you hug a tree or anything, so it will take out all that negativity or everything. You feel good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Flower or tree or plant, like
Yes, Kavita Garu. So true, right. Right. They have the power to clear the negativity, negative emotions. Um, so she suggested her to go sit under the old tree. Here we feel so, we think about the society. Oh, what everybody will think if I go and sit under a tree. We have become so separated from the nature, right? We are not going into the nature. Before coming into spirituality, I used to think there will be some bugs. There are some snakes. Why I have to go into the nature? Some poison ivy, some mosquitoes. You think about all that. We are not connected. The separation was there. Now we know the nature is a great healer. Now we are going and connecting to the nature and healing ourselves. So even now, if you go to the park, you'll just sit on the bench, but you don't sit under a tree.
yeah,
Thinking that what
and
everyone is sitting.
walking with barefoot.
Walking with barefoot, exactly, Kavita garu. Yes.
That you are grounded, right?
Grounding, yes. Exactly. It
You
is
get
very, very
connected.
important. Yeah, grounding is very, very important. And even in spirituality, we do more sadhana. We access the higher realms. We go to the higher frequencies. If you're not grounding, then it is not good for us, it seems. Like how a tree, if the roots are not strong, if it is just growing tall and wide, it falls down, it seems. So the roots has to be very strong. So grounding is essential for us for our spiritual growth. If you are only doing sadhana and getting all these experiences, so most of the people, they might have financial issues or health issues or relationship issues because they are not grounding, it seems. I recently learned this knowledge. So how important grounding it is, as you said, Kavita Garu, sitting under a tree and walking with barefoot is very, very, very good. So the five senses, and the five elements are there in the mother nature: the earth, water, fire, and space, air. Everything is inside the mother earth, it seems. Everything. If you see the earth, it is in the earth. If you go deeper into the earth, a few kilometers, you'll find water. If you go even more, you will find the heat will be there. So all the five elements are present in the mother earth. So if we are connected to mother earth, if we are grounding ourselves, then we can balance both spirituality and materialistic life, it seems, my dear friends. So it helps of here she is healing her emotions. Yeah. So we this is a key point for us. We can also heal our emotions by going into the nature, sitting under the tree. Our emotions gets healed and our physical body also gets healed. So when you're sitting on the tree, our root chakra gets connected to Mother Earth's roots. It's connected to the Mother Earth, the Mother Earth. So all those fears, whatever fears we have in the Mooladhara chakra, they will get cleared, it seems. So, and watching the birds. She says, listen to the go to the under the tree and watch the birds. Listen to the sounds. It's very important, my dear friends. Somewhere I learned this too. We now it is springtime. Even if you go out for a walk, morning or night, the bird chirping is so amazing. So just don't miss it. And when the birds are chirping, that sound is so pure. They have so much unconditional love, right? The animals and birds. That sound, when we hear, that has the power to awaken the love emotions inside us, it seems. Just by listening to those sounds, they are that powerful. So when we awaken that love within us, definitely we can come out of that lower emotions, anger or anything. So listening to the birds of the sound of the birds is very essential. Feel the breeze in the morning air. Forget everything else and allow your head and heart to clear. We have to clear our head, clear all those negative emotions, lower emotions, and clear our heart. Let's not keep any grudge on anyone, any negative feeling on anyone. That blocks our hearts, it seems. Right? When we get separated, if we are angry about someone, then we are separating them with us. So when you clear that blockage, then again we become one. So clear that blockage, clear the air, clear that anger. As I spoke to her, I entered her heart space and felt the unity. As I spoke to her, I entered she's not just telling, she is also entering into heart space. So she has that power now, power of unity. She experienced it. She's holding on to that unity. Now she can vibrate that within others. When we get healed with that power, whoever comes to us, they also get healed. So
Exactly. Mm.
yes. So entered her she's entering her heart space and felt the unity. And I had experienced the evening before, and this had a magical effect as I saw her anxiety decreased. Wow. Now she has the power to decrease other people's anxiety too, right? As we do more, people definitely will come and say, I feel good when I talk to you. Do you have some time? Can you spend some time with me? Usually we get calls like this. Our friends, they enjoy talking to us because of this space, because we are holding to this unity space and love space. That's why,
And exactly same Swam. See,
yeah.
remember as you also told just before that one, how you got connected to me. And since with your intuition that to do a session, and all of a sudden when I came to know that, okay, I do have it, and I'm also struggling with that time, when to put, where to put, how to put, and let us do it right now.
This is like a celebration, Kavita Garu, really.
And
Just yesterday, day before yesterday, I
that
got
was,
the thought that I have to do a session with you. Then I was thinking it will happen in future. A session means I was thinking I have to read, I have to prepare to present myself. I didn't think that when I saw your message today, oh my God, this has to happen. That's what I feel. This has to happen. And there is no preparation. Just come and be with the energies. This is so beautiful, Kavita Garu. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is the magical effect. See, friends, when we clear the negative emotions from others, they will be free out of that emotions, and we also feel that happiness because we did something good for others. You experience that when somebody comes to you, they are low, and then you are just inspiring them, raising their frequency. That is the bliss. You feel that bliss inside. So she did as I suggested and returned to the cottage an hour later. The shadows clinging to her now cleared. I suspected that I would have less success with Mandar, but I made a similar, albeit more modest attempt. Wow, she also uh, affected Mandar too. In this view, I was too meek, too unwilling to speak out. Neutrality is a form of condonation. He often told me in a bitter tone. In the past, I had tried not to respond to his words, although internally I did react, mentally contradicting him and defending myself. Now I knew it would be different because I was still half abiding in another place, another state of awareness in the unified field, which no words can quite describe. This time, to my surprise, when I spoke gently, asking him to reject the very notion of victimhood, to stop seeing himself as begin on, on the losing end, he listened quietly without retorting. We have much to be grateful for, Mandar, I told him. Let's focus on that. Whatever happens out there in the world, we must become immune to it because we have a healthy and happy family and we must not let anything disturb that. He nodded without responding, and I could tell that my words had some effect. Wow. So that's why everybody says whenever we have problems, we keep talking about our problems. Oh, my husband is like this, my kid is like that. We are giving energy to only that. But when we raise our energy, this is the magic is going to happen, my dear friends, right? That is what we have to learn from Devani. Before, sometimes we control ourselves. Okay, first, beginning, we without our knowledge, we also say something. If somebody says, we also say something. We try to give the suggestion, we correct them, we try to correct them, we do all that. But later, when we raise our frequency, we know that it is better to keep quiet. It's better to keep quiet, no talking. Why to increase that? Why to unnecessarily lose energy or quarrel, all that? Even in the deeper state, she now is in that unified field with her frequency. She is able to change the frequency of others too. Now it is affected Mandar too. She's told him, we have a family. We let's immune outside what is happening outside. It should not affect us, right? That how her frequency is affecting other people, it is healing others too. So we should always focus on raising our frequency, right, friends? So problems will definitely dissolve, everything will dissolve when we raise our frequency. That is why all the time you hear in spirituality, raise your frequency. If anybody says any problem, they say raise your frequency. So we have to become one with the universe, then everything else will resolve. Even Buddha, he's a great enlightened master. So I mean, Angulika, I don't know, the thief who is a
Angulimala.
criminal.
Angulimala.
Angulimala, thank you, thank
He
you.
used to cut the fingers of everybody and he used to
Yeah, he used to
hang
cut the
it
fingers
around
of
his neck.
everybody, and he come. But when he comes to Buddha, when he sees Buddha, he transforms. His criminal, whatever whoever the criminal he has inside him, it transforms because Buddha's frequency is high. Buddha has so much love and kindness in him, and that transformed the criminal. So this is exactly what is happening. She is raising her frequency, so it is affecting others. It is healing others. My experience that evening at Uma's left me with the feeling that the way to counter the negative emotions and actions of others was not by reacting, but rather emanating vibrations of peace and joy, which I had so deeply experienced that night. Wow. So, anger is not the solution. Talking about them is not the solution. We reacting to the situation is not the solution. What the solution she found now, before she was angry, she just burned the hut. Now, the transformation is she raised her vibrations and she found peace and joy, and that peace and joy is emanating and transforming others too. So, the solution is peace and joy and love. Wow, she experienced that deeply that night. If I could retain that awareness of unity, I would be able to affect outer conditions in a positive way. Yes, if we can hold on to that unity, we can create the positive outcome. This became my sadhana. Wow. Now she has experienced the unity and then she is holding on to that unity. So many times we get the experiences, friends, in meditation. We feel that unity, we feel that oneness. We realize that we and everybody else is one. But once you come back to your physical body, we might not hold on to that. But we have to be very aware. We have to do that sadhana. But once we have experienced it, we have to remember that and we have to do sadhana to keep my attention on the experience of unity. Yes, she kept that sadhana of keeping her attention on experiencing the unity, to be aware of that unity. Wow, this is the key, my dear friends. To experience that unity and to be in that unity all the time, we have to do this sadhana. Then we will not be angry about anything. Anything will not affect us, and we will become the translators of the world. We can change the world into peace and joy. I had once set Puri's house on fire, but that was not the path to pursue. Yes. Before she experienced the unity, what happened? She was angry and she put the fire, but that is not the solution. I now saw a way to heal the troubles dividing our village, and I would not be alone in this endeavor. So she is not alone. The other people who are meditating, they are also in that state. They have also experienced unity. So all these people, by experiencing the unity, by raising the vibration, they can bring out the positive outcome in the whole village. That is the way to transform anger and hurting and yeah, those are all not the solutions. What an amazing wisdom Sitama has given here. What is the way to change the world? I had the support of others and knew myself to be part of a unified field of awareness. Yes, now she has a support because other people are also there. Now we are also formed a cycle. We are also in that the frequency. We can also change the world. Our joint efforts held the potential to erase the fear and anger roiling the village. But after seeing the long span of time, the movement of cycles through many millennia, I was also aware that I could not count in terms of days or weeks or even years, but would have to relinquish any sense of when and how events would turn around. But turn around they would, for I could see the future. But she also saw all the yugas, how they are transcending from one yuga to another yuga. So from her perspective, she is holding on to that unity. But whatever happens in the world, it will happen. Now she has that awareness, because of the cycles, these things are happening. Everything is happening because of the cycles. So I also realized that the specific events in the village were themselves of little importance. The conflict was not really about land ownership because that could have been sorted out in a fair manner. That was simply the spark that brought to the force suppressed emotions that we had not transformed. So outer problems are because of we didn't do the inner work. We have suppressed our emotions. When we do the inner work, outer things will be settled. The more we yielded to negative emotions, the more we burdened the collective field. Exactly, friends. Our thought, it affects the whole entire earth, it seems. Our one thought resides in the earth for 40 years, it seems. We are reading the book Invitation to Love, Mahatma Babaji's book. In that book, Babaji has given this wisdom. How our thought is not just creating our own future, it is creating the whole entire earth's future. So we are so responsible. The more we yielded to negative emotions, the more we burden the collective field. So if we feel sad, we are giving the sadness to the whole entire earth. So it is very important to be happy. Prabhupada sir also says, the only service you can do, the service you can do is keeping yourself happy. If you just keep yourself happy, that is the greatest service to the Mother Earth.
So it's fine since you, sorry to interrupt. I made the KHA Miraculous Minds. The purpose of my life is to be happy and radiate that happiness. So that became the purpose to create the KHA Miraculous Minds. I don't know for whatever the reason, that is a broad purpose, right? To be happy and radiate that happiness.
Yeah. We always think I have to do so much service and I have to do that. You just be happy. That itself is a great service. Um, okay, the emotions, okay. Yeah, it affects the collective field. So if everybody is happy, a whole earth becomes a celebration, it seems. Babaji says in that book, everybody is happy, and whole earth becomes a heaven. Heaven is here itself in the earth. That is how it becomes. The more we yielded to negative emotions, okay, collective field, casting lengthening shadows over our collective life. Each one of us had to free ourselves from harmful reactions in order to shed light on the darkness, over polarization, and regain our harmonious way of life. Exactly. We all have to focus on that happiness, that light. We should not focus on the darkness. We have to focus on light and be happy, and that radiates in the whole entire earth, and everybody will have that harmonious life. Everything. It is not just the humans, it affects the animals, it affects the trees. Everything will live in the harmonious way. I remember Soma telling me that after Ravana's son Indrajit was killed, Ravana was consumed by rage, but his wife, Indrajit's mother, Mandodari, didn't feel anger because she understood that her son was reaping the results of his own actions. However, she experienced great grief, and Mata commiserated with her, taking her to the realm where Indrajit had gone to review his life. Seeing that her son had entered a period of self realization helped to assuage her sorrow, as she realized he was finally free from his father and could take the next step on his soul's journey. Seeing the bigger picture is one way to overcome our emotional reactions to outer events. Here, Mata is giving us one more key, one more solutions to come out of our emotions. Right, friends, when Ravana's son Indrajit got killed, Ravana, even though he has many cities, what missing is the wisdom and the love. So he went into the rage, it seems. Ravana was consumed by rage. But his wife Mandodara, she has the wisdom. So she knows that because of mother's help, Mother Sita took her to the other realms and she showed how her son is progressing from one life to another life. So we leave the physical body here, we go to higher realms and we take other lessons and we take one more lifetime. So there is no death for the soul. That realization she got, Mandodari, because of Sita, even though she didn't build any rage. She's sorrow. She has the sorrow, she has sadness because of it's her son. But when she realized the soul's journey, when she understood the soul's journey, that her sons took one more step to take one more life, this understanding came because of Sitama. She understood the whole big picture. She's not clinging on to that emotion that I lost my son, right? She sees the big picture where he is evolving into next life. By understanding that big picture, she came out of her emotions. So this is the way, friends, to come out of emotions, to come out of darkness. Again, wisdom is the light. We have to gain that wisdom. We have to expand our wisdom through this Swadhyaya, Dhyana, and Sajjana Sangita. This is such a great platform and such a great work, Kavitha Garu, you're doing by sharing this knowledge. You know how to come out of our emotions, how to see how to build the love and joy within us. Everything Sitama is giving us. Yeah, until that evening with Uma, Kian, and a few others, I had been devoted all my efforts to Puri and to speaking with many people in the village, ignoring my own household. Now I realized I had to attend to matters closer to home. Yeah. So now she gained all this knowledge and she was helping others to heal. Now she realized she came back to her own world and she has to do her household work. So she has come back to that consciousness. Yeah. Kavita.
Thank you so much, Swayam. It was so nice. And just 5 more minutes, Masters. Let me do this quickly, but I know we are running a little late. But if I could get my family, including brothers and relatives, to let go of their anger and sense of victimhood in response to what was happening in the village, that would go a long way toward turning things around. But this was a tall order. Alone, I did not hope to accomplish it. But now that I was not alone, I was empowered. So this change has to be brought up in the family and in the village, being that unity consciousness and removing the victimhood. From that day on, whenever my family or anyone else spoke to me about the situation in the village, I attuned myself with the unified field that I experienced and which I now knew to be my true reality. When others asked how I could remain neutral and not react in the face of aggressions, I would smile and respond that I aspire to attain a divine neutrality, operating from a place free of anger and fear, but not free of the wisdom to discern right from wrong. Only in that mindset could I simply guide people's minds towards Dharma. That evening with Kian and the others had shown me that remaining in the unified consciousness was the most important offering I could make to the village and the most effective way to help resolve the issues. All other efforts failed in comparison. We were changing the vibrational field, and that alone would inevitably yield results. See, Sita Ma, when she was in Lanka, she's not affected by Ravana. She's also into that unified consciousness because she knows the life of Ravana in one of that selfless action we covered. Everything she knows what he lacks from birth itself. He do not have that love. So how much he abuse or how much he tortured or anything, she is not affected because she is in the same state, and now the same state Devani has experienced. So that is what. Some weeks later, Kian and Uma came to visit me. Anu was thrilled to have such respected members of the village at our home and treated them to drinks and a small meal. Mandar greeted them courteously. When I walked them back to their cottage, I asked about the others who have joined us that evening. They are just villagers like us, Devani. Does it matter who they are? What they do? Asked Uma. We know one another from previous births, added Kian. There is one more who will come, a young man named Sadanand. You and he have a special relationship. Sandanan, because see how these people, based upon the past life experiences, they know when they see that one, okay, he's like incarnation of a previous birth. Sadanand, I repeated softly, I do not think I know him. My voice trailed off. Yes, you do. Kian replied with a slight smile. I became reflective, searching my mind for all those I knew, and then I suddenly blurted out. He was Sachi's friend from childhood. Anu often teased his mother that the two would marry because they were so fond of one another. Kian nodded, and I murmured sadly, but she is gone. So now Kian is saying that okay, you will find a person by name Sadanand, you know him, you have a relationship with him, uh, like a family kind of. Because Sachi's friend, he was one of the Sachi's friend and very close. So like that, then but Sachi is gone, right? So she will soon reappear and they will marry. How old is he? I asked in amazement. 18. So now Sadanand is 18. She has not even been reborn, so how will they come together? He chuckled. We will have to see how their karma finds fulfillment. Kian, since we gathered at your place, everything seemed to be moving more speedily. There is less tension in my household, and my husband is even beginning to laugh again, something he has rarely done since Sachi's death. We have a life again. Apart from the village turmoil, he chuckled and I asked, that night, did we alter time? Did we speed it up? So he was saying that, Devan is saying that after I met you both, Uma and Kian, the life has been changed. Now she could see the laugh, smile in their family, Mandar, because after Sachit's death, everything there was grief, and on top of it, the village problems. He grinned. Whatever was done was not done by us. We have formed a powerful, unified field through which the divine can work. I never asked you about your relationship with Mata. Is there a need to? Anything you put your mind to, you will know, Devani. And she was curious. She wanted to ask, looks like Kian and Uma, they also have relationship with Mata, and she was hesitating to ask what how they got connected. And isn't it enough to know that she brought us together to help transform events in this village, even and how? That should not be our concern. The karma will unfold as it will, but we can help the unfolding if we keep a steady mind, unfazed by external events, maintaining our unity with her and each other. In this way, we can help others be untouched by what appears to be the chaos around us. Everything evolves, and the situation here will also change and evolve. So much is going on in the outer world with lot of chaos, but still we will not be, will remain untouched. Not long after that conversation, when I had cleared away the evening meal and helped Anu put the children to bed, I was again drawn to go to Kian and Uma's cottage. Once again, as soon as I entered, I found the others present, deep in meditation. But there was another person whom I recognized at once. The adult Sadanand still had traces of his childhood appearance, and seeing him again made me feel Sachi's presence. She was there in his aura. When or where she would be reborn, I did not know, but I fully believed what Kian had told me, and I was to discover that my relationship with Sadanand was to be far more than only the mother-in-law I might have been. So one day again, now Devani is so connected to go to Kian and Uma's place. She is eagerly waiting for the opportunity. So finally, in the she after the one day evening, she after the dinner, she again went to Kian's cottage, and there she met Sadanand because the Kian told that she is going to soon meet. See how our thoughts will come into reality, and then she will be born. Sachi will be reincarnated again soon. We had an old and well established bond from ages before either one of us took our current birth, and he was to become an essential factor in our increasingly unified film. He was to help bring the presence of Mata more tangibly to us. Soon after I met Sadanand, Uma's youngest sister gave birth to her fifth child, a little girl. When Uma joyfully conveyed to me this news, I understood right away that this girl was the rebirth of my beloved Sachi. See, immediately Uma's sister, she got delivered a baby. It is a fifth child, and she knew, Devani knew, Sachi has reincarnated as the Uma's niece. It is not through speech that you shape and move events in the outer world. Although words are useful, silence is the more powerful language, the language of the soul. In silence, you tap a deeper reality where the mind can create, guide, and transform outer conditions. Thank you so much, Masters, being satisfied. We are so blessed, and we'll open for everyone to speak few words before we end.
Beautiful session, Kavitha Garu. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Sunita from Sunita Shivkumar, you want to say anything?
First of all, thanks to Master Kavitha and Swayam Garu. There are a lot of things you covered. And really, first, congratulate you that you experienced the divine blessings of the Mata that in your meditation, Swayam Garu.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was nice. You covered a lot of things, but what I remember is like Hardly it's difficult to remember the characters, but how far I remember, I will tell that like when the Devani, because of her thought in the anger, it put the fire cottage on fire. But then Uma Kian, with their peaceful thought, they off the fire. So try to put the thought in a positive way, and then always when at home. Mandar and Anu were having the conversation regarding the village events again, that fight and thing. Then Devani, she wanted to go to Kyan's place because she was feeling more connected to the soul and peaceful at their place. So she left their home and she's going there. And when she sat with them with the meditation, she was feeling all the internal peace and she was connecting to the divine. And one more thing you said that like regarding the this is regarding them and regarding Ravana's. See, Ravana, he lost his son because of his ego and he was trying to like take Sita Mata under his control, which is against the rule. And actually, he has a wife and he has so many things. So when even though you have powers or fame or anything, but if you don't follow dharma, you will face the karma.
What a rhyming is there. If you don't follow dharma, you'll face karma.
So he lost, and Indrajit, he was actually. I got all this knowledge from the YouTube, whatever I remember. First of all, thanks to all the gurus. So Indrajit, he was a very good son. He has so much powers and everything, but he know that his father is wrong. But as a son, okay, sometimes we come under the pressure, even though when we try to tell them it is not good, if they don't listen, because he as a son wanted to do his duty, he know that. Then he, for his father's satisfaction, he did it, and he lost his life. But then Mandodari, so first, physically, she felt sad because he lost his son. But when she connected to the super soul or spiritually, she was fine that, oh, he's in a good place. Rather than his being with his bad father, it is better to be in safe place in the spiritual, in the higher souls. As far as I understood, if it is wrong, you can correct me. And a lot of things. Yeah, and you were saying that connecting to the mother nature, because yeah, there are also so many chakras. So they say when we feel sad or like feeling uneasy, when we connect to the mother nature, our internal chakras will be healed. Like how you said, grounding the Mooladhara chakra, and then emotions, Swadhisthana. And you said when you hear the sounds of the birds chirping, you feel happy. Why? Because it is in the heart chakra, there is Anahata chakra. So you listen through your ears, it goes through your heart, so you feel there. So it is your heart chakra being activated. So that's why when you connect to the nature, it is you feel happy. And what you covered almost. And thoughts, almost many things are there. Mm, yeah, and this one is there in the Lalita Sahasranamam also. And you said when you set your mind, you correct the soul, because that sloka I should not spell wrong. That's why I'm not telling Lalita Sahasranam. When you search outside, I will not find you. When you search inside, I will find you. So when you close your eyes and thoughts and your mind is shut, then it is your soul which opens it, connects to the outer world. So even though you are sitting in your room, when you close your eyes, you traveled everywhere, where sitting in your room. So it is not the physical body, it is the soul and that higher consciousness. So and one more thing I remembered is like again character name is I think Devani. So when again when Anu and Mandar, I think when they were talking about again the topic of the village, again she was getting angry. Why? Because in the physical world, that spiritual nature is being covered by the physical I mean surroundings or the problems, these things. So it was covering our spirituality oneness. Actually, when we are connected to the oneness, we feel happy, everything. But when we get divided through our emotions, egos, we cover ourselves. So it is like just how the sunlight is coming. If we close our eyes, we can't see even the sunlight is coming. So the soul oneness is everywhere, but when we cover with our egos, emotions, it is not being experienced. So then again, she wanted to try connect to the soul, and then she was feeling happy. Oh, I think I am taking much time, but
No,
it
no,
it
no.
was nice session as far as I remember. Yeah, same thing like how you said about Krishna consciousness. So see, uh, as they say again, I should know. As you said, you try to control tell in Telugu, so I'm also trying to control tell in English only. Usually, I will go and speak in Telugu. But yeah, it is oneness, and it is the soul or universe or Paramatma. You say it is everywhere. That is like a form energy, like you whatever maybe. We take the forms based on our coming to the karmas and the unresolved issues and the desires, that gives we take form. So that's what they said, no, Sita Mata said, even we are all same. This Ravana, Rama, Sita, and all Mandar, all these people are same, because when you are connected to spiritually, you are one. There is no difference. There is no duality. In Telugu also they say that Dvandvatita. So there is no dual nature, and so yeah. Thank you. I keep going.
No, it was very nice, and
And
yes,
yeah,
we are since we are running out of time, but
yeah. Thank you, both
definitely
of you.
thank you so much, Sunita. That is very nice, and it is
Thanks to
enlightening,
both of you. Thanks
and
to Dena Merriam, madam.
it came to you in a flow and spontaneously. So this one, so that is really great. And one thing I remember, like when we said, like Vivekananda, when he touches his hand, that since it is how we get connected, he can read whichever that book he is not he do not know new book, whatever page was there in the 200 page or 300 page, he could able to say, because that is how we get connected, right? That higher, even though he did not know that language, but the moment he put his hand on that book, he was able to tell, okay, on that 200 page, what was there. So that much consciousness we get connected once we align with the unified
Yes.
thing. So
Yes.
thank you so much once again, masters. And whenever again I get intuition for next thing will go. And I think Chitra ji is also waiting. So let us wait. I don't know when it will happen, but let us wait when intuition comes. But thank you for so much for the precious time. And with just 1 minute meditation, we will end the session. Okay. I know since we are running late.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Thank you so much, Kavita, for inviting me here. Thank you so much.
yeah,
Beautiful experience.
thank you so much, masters. And just cross your feet, clasp your hands, close your eyes, and just sit comfortably and observe your natural, easy, calm breath. And today we are thanking Sitama, Hanuma, and Sri Ram for blessing us this nice, wonderful session with the Swayam Master. She is doing so many great things, and this is a spontaneous talk which all has happened there with the Sitama's blessings, and we have received so much cosmic energy, and we are doing this group meditation with unified field consciousness. Showing gratitude and thanking Mother Nature for the universe, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, mineral kingdom, and technology, everything to family, friends, all gurus, astral masters, and all divine gods. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And masters, whoever want to continue, please continue. And anyone wants to leave, then just come back to your presence and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your hands on your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And open your eyes with beautiful smile. Thank you. And we will see you all again at another session. Okay?
Thank you, friends. Thank you, Kavita.
Thank you, Master Kavita. Thank you,
Thank you.
Swayam Garu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Masters. Ending
Thank
this.
you.
See you again.